You know what? I'm gonna load this stuff up.
It's V-Day for the Formento family. The day Alex Formento, his wife Beth, their 2 children, and a friend's 2 kids are setting out for a vacation at the beach. It has all the earmarks of the classic American vacation in the year 2000.
It's summertime, 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 summertime.
Is this the last box, babe?
Harry Potter is going along. So is Alex's laptop computer. They're packing everything 6 people could possibly need or want for a month, even though they're only going away for a week. 1 week, that's it. The classic American vacation is short.
When it comes to time off among the industrialized nations, the U.S. is dead last. We're in the basement. Europeans get, in general, 4, 5, and 6 weeks off. Australia, the same. We average about 8 or 9 days after the first year on the job.
Joe Robinson is the editor of an adventure travel magazine called Escape. So he has an agenda here, which is that Americans are the most vacation-starved people in the Western world. And on top of that, we're working harder and harder.
We work 2 months a year longer in total hours than the Germans, and 2 weeks longer than even the Japanese every year. So put it all together, and we're working, the average husband and wife is working about 500 more hours per year than they did in 1980.
How? By taking what we do wherever we go. So for many Americans, truly dialing back is impossible.
Can't we go to the beach?
Not today, honey. I've got a meeting with a very important client.
Mom, when can I be a client?
Remember this commercial? A cellular telephone is what makes it possible for an overworked professional
You have 5 minutes to get ready to go to the beach, or I'm going without you.
to be a caring mom. Or is it the other way around? Today's technology has blurred the line between work and personal life, for better or for worse.
Hey, everybody! It's time for a meeting!
Just ask the Formentos.
A vacation is a chance for me to get away with my family and unwind a little bit, unplug from what I do with my business.
Slow down, you move too fast. You got to make the most.
But no sooner has everybody helped with the unpacking, no sooner have Beth and the kids headed for the beach, than Alex is plugging into his business, the opposite of what he says a vacation is for.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Alex Formento is self-employed. He sells fixtures for supermarkets and other retail stores. So the very thought of really unplugging terrifies him.
I would feel like I'm out of touch and wanting to know what's going on and what's happening and making sure everything is on pace.
How much of that is psychological and how much of it is real?
I'd say 75% psychological and 25% real.
If in fact today people allow work to intrude on their vacation time, is that something new?
No, that's an old story. I think if we do it now, we come by it right. It is the story of American vacationing.
Cindy Aaron is the author of Working at Play, A History of American Vacations.
The story of vacations is the story of this tension between work and leisure in American culture.
And has been, according to Aaron, since the word vacation entered the American vocabulary in the 1850s.
In the summertime, when the weather is high, you can stretch right up and touch the sky.
In order to justify taking time off, many people said they were going for their health. Religious retreats and camp meetings were acceptable. Families gathered at Chautauqua, New York, for lectures and classes. Visiting national parks was considered educational. Early in the 20th century, President William Howard Taft actually recommended 2-month vacations for everybody. The response from businessmen, howls of disapproval.
2 months, no, very bad idea. A week, 2 weeks.
By the 1940s, the paid vacation had become a national habit, just as it became a national habit for Americans to take their vacations in the family car.
And I think Americans do like to check things off, having been, well, now we've seen the Grand Canyon, then we'll see this. We used to call this Chekhovian vacations, but not having to do with any Russian playwrights or novelists, but just check it off.
Writer Calvin Trillin thinks we try to do too much in too short a time.
I've always thought that Americans go across the country as if somebody's chasing them on vacation.
Apparently, we apply the same approach to any kind of time off. We took these pictures last week at a New York theater, just before curtain time.
As a courtesy to the actors and your fellow audience members, we ask that you please turn off cellular phones and pagers at this time.
For many Americans, it really does boil down to a pretty basic question: your money or your life. A recent Harris poll asked, which would you prefer, more time off or more money? 64% of those surveyed said more time off.
Whoa.
We've got another commercial for you.
Wild Vines. It goes perfect with letting go.
No guilt, no compromise here. Try defiance.
It's kind of an entangling web right now of technology that everybody wants to be connected, but at the same time, how do we disconnect? And that's what we really have to be asking ourselves right now, and setting clear lines between what is the workplace and what is my life.
For the Fermentos, it's easier said than done.
Cover his toes down there, Kirsten. I see him on this side.
You know, one time I realized maybe I'm working at about 60% capacity. And I thought, hey, that's about right.
What to you is a vacation?
I mean, why would you want to work at 100%? Well, of course, with a writer, it's sort of hard to tell. Either we're always on vacation or we're never on vacation, depending on how you look at it.
Calvin Trillin has managed to get the balance right, if anybody has. For the last 30 years, he and his family have packed up and gone to Nova Scotia, not for a week, but for the entire summer.
I think separating yourself from what you ordinarily do is a vacation, and changing places. And I'm not sure that it makes as much difference as most people think what the place is, just so it's not the place you usually find yourself.
How would you categorize the quality of thought that you have here?
Trivial. I would say trivial, and somewhere between trivial and superficial.
Trillin feels no compulsion whatsoever to stay in touch. Neither does his wife, writer Alice Trillin.
My wife basically reads books. Her big change sometimes in the day is changing from the porch to the bedroom to the boathouse, all reading, just different chairs.
Gets done. Calvin Trillin has written books here. He has weekly deadlines. But technology now allows him to have his vacation attitude and keep it too. For Calvin Trillin, attitude is everything.
There have been summers when I've gotten a lot done here and summers when I really haven't gotten very much done, but I don't feel terribly guilty. But I think it also depends on what sort of business you're in. If you do have your own business, I suppose that there's a feeling that if you don't do it, nobody will do it.
Back at the beach, Alex Fermento finally joins his family, but he remains fully armed, his beeper and his cell phone at his side in their holsters, although not for long.
Did you get beeped?
Taking voicemail.
Could you go on vacation if you didn't take the computer and the beeper and the cell phone?
That's almost like a fantasy of mine to be able to do that, but I think I could, like the 25% that isn't psychological, I think I could get away and do it, and everything would just continue to operate. But I think that 75% of the psychological part of it would stop me from doing that.
And I know it helps him relax. I know when we're on the beach and he checks the cell phone or checks his messages or touches base with somebody in the office, then he knows okay, now I don't have to call in till this afternoon or till tomorrow morning we're set. And then he really does enjoy and relax.
So that short as it is, the classic American vacation might at least be sweet.
I'll think of summer days again and dream of you. And dream of you.
Even though I'm a grown-up and school's been out for many, many years, June will always mean summer vacation to me. Like the song says, no more pencils, no more books. Actually, they were giddy looks as my teachers waved bye-bye to 35 or so rowdy city kids. And here's how summer was back then. It would be hot, you'd sweat, you'd play, goof off, stare into space. You'd get bored and your mom would hiss, "Read a book!" And you'd look at her like her head was on fire. Or maybe you were one of the lucky ones who went to camp. You didn't have summer reading lists. You read whatever books you wanted, or checked out the cool teen magazines like 16 and Mad. Man, even Carol Burnett took the summer off, remember?
Good night, everybody.
She'd say goodbye until fall, and you'd watch those summer replacement shows like Sonny and Cher. And when September rolled around and we went back to school, students all over the U.S. were part of the proud tradition of writing a report entitled, How I Spent My Summer Vacation. Well, game over. Instead of No Child Left Behind, it's No Child Left Alone. Summertime is another opportunity to micromanage kids with math assignments, book reports, required journals, and exams. Forget about discovering the joys of reading. In some cases, the reading lists are exhaustive, and the follow-up assignments kill any enjoyment you might have in just reading and mulling. What happened to doing nothing? Not an option. Who has time? Adults are forcing their own lack of boundaries between work and home lives on their children, all for the sake of what's called being competitive. I mean, look at us. Work, then cell phones, Blackberries, dragging the laptop everywhere. If we take vacations, we work during them. And studies have shown that American workers aren't necessarily more effective as a result, just more likely to get ill. If we want to wreck our lives with overwork, fine. But when you're young, time to goof off is necessary. That staring into space may very well have been the way that space travel was invented. Give the children of this country a break. They need the time and space to sit and think and dream.
The hit new Survivor series strands tribes of contestants on a deserted island where they compete against each other and the elements.
It makes you wonder, how would we do marooned on a remote tropical island?
Say Paradise Island in the Bahamas, where a tribe of guests and staff members are stranded together at the Atlantis Resort with only their wits, their luggage, and lots of traveler's checks.
This is your first trip to the island?
First trip. Is it a tough place?
No, sir. This is a beautiful place here we have here in the island.
There are differences between the two islands. They have to build their shelter.
Man, let me show you that beautiful view we have here on the property.
Ours is provided.
Wow.
Who's their travel agent? But the similarities between survivalists and vacationers are striking. They have no fire to cook with, neither do we. You have to find ways to cope.
Room service. There you go, Mr. Geist.
Thank you. Just put that on the room bill, okay?
My pleasure.
Whether it's Borneo or the Bahamas, clothing is scant. On the show, danger is everywhere.
It's hazardous around here. Don't kid yourself.
Life is basic. Down and dirty. It's primitive. Both groups are forced to eat and drink from coconut shells.
There you are, sir. There you go. Okay. You gotta live off the land. Coconuts, local rum.
We go across one stream, two streams, three.
Map reading skills are critical in the wilderness of these vast resort complexes.
Okay, I go around the Predator Lagoon through the Reef Wing, Ocean Wing, Lagoon Wing, through the casino into the Great Hall of Waters.
Both survivalists and vacationers are in constant search of food. One must eat what's indigenous to the island.
I'm so ready to eat rat. I want to gut him, bone him.
I don't see the rat and beetle larva on the menu tonight. Rat?
When rat meat is unavailable, you gotta eat lobster.
I think this might be a little better than food on the other island.
Win this, you stay on the island a few days longer.
On Survivor, tribes and individuals are always competing. Same here.
All right, you don't know how to score, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, good. You have 2 in the thing and I have 1, so I think I won.
The show presents a lot of water challenges. Here too.
Let's go, Bill!
My pants are coming off.
The moment we all wait for every week, of course, is when cast members gather at Tribal Council for the grim task of voting someone off the island.
This is a little bit like Tribal Council.
It's time to vote. You're first.
Picking her because I think she's the reason we lost yesterday.
Bill's gone because he made our team lose in the water aerobics.
He left me a 4% tip.
He's not a strong swimmer.
He has no rhythm.
I think Bill cheated at shuffleboard.
The tribe has spoken.
Bill, the tribe has spoken. You out of here.
If you think being voted off Survivor is tough, try being kicked off Paradise Island. They didn't even let me stop at the gift shop. And which island would you rather leave? Theirs or mine?
Back then, they were called simply camps. Today, we call them great camps. 35 of the great camps survive today, mostly private enclaves. Reminders of a time when, if you were rich enough, you could afford your own wilderness. New York State's Adirondack Park is 6 million acres, 20% of the entire state. It's a patchwork of private land, small towns, and state forest. For more than 100 summers now, people have been vacating the cities to vacation here.
There's actually still some asparagus that comes up in here. Of course, everything has gone wild.
Ken Helms and his horses
Jerry is on the left, Ben is on the right.
are taking us deep into protected state forest on a road that's banned to motor vehicles. It's part tourist travel, part time travel, back to see a house called Santanoni.
There's not many of these great camps left. This was built back in the late 1800s, and it was off limits to everyone until the early 70s when the state acquired it. Come on, boys.
I was captivated from the very beginning. You come upon it, you are 5 miles from the nearest telephone, electric light, motor vehicle.
Steve Engelhardt is director of the preservation group Adirondack Architectural Heritage.
You've made all of this effort to get here, and you come upon this place in this magnificent setting, and it's really quite magical.
The Prines, a banking family, built Santanoni. In Albany, they had money and power, but Santanoni was where they came to get away from it all.
If you look at the family photo albums, people look so happy while they're here. You see them out in the boats, you see them getting ready to go out on a fishing trip, you see them posing for kind of goofy photographs, and they just seem to be having such fun.
When New York State acquired Santanoni as part of the protected forest, the buildings themselves became somewhat of an endangered species. That's because by law, all state lands within the Adirondack Park are deemed forever wild.
And that has been widely interpreted as meaning that buildings like this should either be demolished or allowed to deteriorate. And so here's this dilemma. There's this wonderful camp, this wonderful historic resource, 5 miles from the main road, less than 10 miles from the highest mountain in New York State. What do you do with it? How do you justify its preservation?
This is a huge challenge.
In 1990, preservationists lobbied the state to make Santanoni an educational and historic site.
When we planned the porch project, we did plan to do the whole thing.
I think its future is a delicate balance between being preserved, loved, but all being done in a way that respects its wilderness and forest preserve surroundings.
With changing ways and the passage of time, some of the great old camps in the Adirondacks were abandoned or fell into disrepair. That is decidedly not the case with this one. This is Wild Air. It belongs to the Reed family.
Now, up the hill.
Okay, I'm right behind you. It's not easy keeping up with Whitelaw Reed.
You had a canoe on your head. It would keep you in better shape.
Yes. How much does a canoe weigh? At 84, he can still hoist a 65-pound canoe. One person would carry this?
Oh, yeah.
Still plays tennis and races sailboats in Upper St. Regis Lake.
All you have to do is open the gate here, and then you can take a plunge into the lake.
I'll try not to do that. Reed's grandfather, one-time U.S. ambassador to the Court of St. James and owner of the New York Herald Tribune, founded Wild Air.
This is a slight history of the lake, dictated by my grandfather.
Over the years, the family built some dozen rustic-style buildings, big and small.
You could say the guts of the camp is really this workshop, because a lot of it was built out of the workshop here.
Whitelaw Reed is now downsizing his camp so his children and his grandchildren can still maintain this somewhat unwieldy estate.
My grandfather always believed in putting a little building on every extremity of the land. So we had a summer house way out on our border there, and there used to be 25 to 30 in help in camp. And we can't live that way, and we can't do a lot of extensive entertaining. And so finally, when my wife and I took over in the camp, We took down both the dining room and the big bedroom cabin beyond. What we're trying to do is make way for our family now.
The future of the great camps is a problem. They're very expensive to maintain.
Michael Wilson is an Adirondack historian and Associate Director of Sagamore Institute.
When it comes to restoring the buildings, I'm not sure how many of them we really can afford to have, and most of them are in private hands, and they're in danger of being subdivided because their owners often can't maintain all the buildings, and there are so few of them left that we need to preserve them.
Camp Sagamore, the old Vanderbilt estate, had over 50 buildings in its heyday and 3 servants for every guest.
If you've done any camping in the Adirondacks, you may be familiar with this. Vanderbilt's used it mainly for the same things we do today, sitting around the campfire, talking, laughing. They didn't exactly rough it like the rest of us, perhaps, though. On this wall was a telephone intercom system. So they could, you could always call down to the kitchen or the servants and have them bring up, a pitcher of martinis or hot toddies, or call one of the guys up here.
Today, Sagamore is run by a non-profit organization dedicated to preserving the history of these great camps. On a recent weekend, Sagamore supporters recreated the pleasures of the Gilded Age as they celebrated 100 years of Sagamore history.
My grandfather bought it in 1901.
Alfred Vanderbilt Jr. came to celebrate. As a very young boy, he had come here too.
It was not entertaining on a grand scale like in Newport or like in New York. It wasn't necessarily that they wanted to rough it and live in tents in the woods. But here you could be private, you could be comfortable, you could enjoy the beauty of nature.
All the great camps entertained distinguished guests.
There's Eleanor Roosevelt there.
Oh, yes.
There were various interesting people who came up here. They used to dress for dinner, of course, black tie every night. Women wore long dresses.
No dressing for dinner anymore.
In my day, it's more like blue jeans. So it gets progressively simpler.
A simpler lifestyle, perhaps, but a more complicated future for these great camps. How to preserve this part of American history in the midst of the wilderness.
Summer is here, and so are those summer expectations. First and foremost, there's an overwhelming pressure to enjoy summer. It's summer, summertime's here, don't waste it. I feel this every morning when I look out the window. Ugh, it's nice out there. I guess I should go out there and be uncomfortable. I wouldn't want summer to feel unappreciated. Of course, it's not enough to just enjoy the summer. We are all supposed to have well mapped out summer plans. Every spring, the questions start. You got any plans for the summer? What are you doing this summer? Why do I need a plan? I thought summer was about relaxing. Wait, are we supposed to schedule when we relax? That sounds stressful. I relax by not having plans. Now, I understand my unplanned summer plan is not common. Most non-freelancers need to schedule a week off with their employers. This makes sense, but those aren't summer plans. That's called a vacation. Some adults talk about their summer plans as if they just graduated from 8th grade or are living off some endless family inheritance. The only adults who should have summer plans are teachers and NBA players. Summer plans usually involve a destination. You going anywhere this summer? Why does summer mean we have to travel? It makes no sense. Well, the weather's finally nice here, so I guess we should go somewhere else. We live here. All our stuff is here. Why would we go somewhere where our stuff isn't? That sounds like a situation we'd want to avoid. I almost had to go to this place where they didn't have any of my stuff. I really dodged a bullet there. Most summer destinations involve the pursuit of water. A lake, a river, the ocean. I live in the Northeast, so people always talk about the beach. The beach, like it's a summertime mecca. You guys going to the beach this summer? I hope not. Have you been to the beach? It's all sand, just sand and bugs. I never understood the appeal of the beach. Sometimes you have to pay to park at the beach. You pay to park, and then if you want to sit down, you have to bring your own chair. Yeah, I'll pass on the beach. My favorite thing to do on a beautiful summer day, take a nap, dream about fall.
If you're happy about an upcoming vacation this summer, enjoy the feeling while it lasts.
Because research shows that happiness may not come during the vacation,
or even after it, but before. It turns out it's the anticipation that gives you joy.
A Dutch study shows that people about to take a vacation were happier than people without a trip coming up.
After the vacation, there's generally no difference in happiness levels between vacationers and non-vacationers.
On the subject of anticipation, consider this. When offered an imaginary kiss from a celebrity, most people preferred that kiss be 3 days in the future.
It seems if they got the kiss right now, they'd lose out on a chance to look forward to it. So if you think your vacation this summer is going to make you a happy camper,
remember that anticipating that camping trip is where you'll find the real joy.
But there's no need to be unhappy about it.
When this vacation is over, just, start planning the next one.
This Memorial Day weekend, our unofficial start to summer. Many Americans will look ahead to the next couple of months and their vacation plans. But not as many as you might think.
1 in 4 American workers, no paid vacation?
That's right. 1 in 4 American workers don't have paid vacation provided by their employer. And we don't have any law that would require any employer to do that.
John Schmidt, an economist at the Center for Economic and Policy Research, is the author of No Vacation Nation, a study detailing one unique feature of our economic system that's not the envy of the rest of the world. Out of the 33 richest countries, the U.S. is the only one with no legally required paid vacation for its workers.
If you look at all of the other rich countries about the same standard of living that we have, it's pretty standard to have 20 or 25 days of paid vacation per year.
England.
20.
France.
30.
Germany.
22.
Italy.
I think it's 22 or 23.
And I could keep going?
Yes, exactly.
And the United States is the only country to have 0.
Yes, that's right.
The average American has just 9 days of vacation a year. One 2009 survey shows just 10% of us will take a full 2 weeks off. And as for part-time workers, only a third get any paid time off from their employers. John Schmidt says we have a tortured relationship with vacation in the best of times, and the recession has only made it worse.
Even when times are good, people don't take their vacation. They don't want to be seen as that guy who's always taking his time off, who values his time off more than being at work. Being in a recession simply makes it worse.
Yeah, it completely intensifies the pressure on workers to buckle down and work as hard as they possibly can, so that if the boss has to make a decision about letting 10% of people go, that you're not on that list.
You could blame the Puritan work ethic, although in Great Britain, where the Puritan work ethic got started, workers are guaranteed 20 days off.
There's no question we're different, but it's because we choose to be, not because we can't afford to be. We are as rich as the Europeans are. We would be a little less rich in material terms if we took more time off as a nation, but we would be, some of us at least, happier to do that.
Cornell University economics professor Stephen Kyle says it all comes down to a society's position on vacation.
Is vacation a perk, or is it something that is an essential, like good health care, a good job, enough vacation to be healthy and regenerated?
Well, I don't think it's a perk, personally. I have to ask myself, and I have a very good job that I love, but what are we doing this for, our jobs, if not to have a life and have a good life?
You need time off to recharge the batteries and to make yourself happy.
Alan Grayson is adamant that vacation is a right. In fact, he wants to make it a law.
That 69% of all middle-class Americans say that their #1 desire in life is more free time. And I think it's doable. I think we can.
Which he's in a better position to do than most, since he's a congressman, a freshman Democrat, from Orlando, of course, often called the vacation capital of the world.
We lead the world in science. We lead the world in innovation. I don't think we need to lead the world in people who can't take a vacation.
Grayson wants to guarantee at least 1 week of paid vacation for every worker at a company with 100 or more employees. He says it'll lead to greater productivity from well-rested and healthier workers.
We're talking initially about only 1 week off, which is only a quarter of what every European worker gets. I mean, the old saying is, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. What we're seeing more and more is that all work and no play makes Jack a dead boy.
Of course, this might not be the best week to point to the ways Europeans run their economies as an example. With Greece near insolvency, Spain also teetering, and the rest of Europe shaken, everything is now on the table as far as easing economic pressures there. Well, everything but vacations.
Why is that so? It is because the employers feel that they benefit from that law, primarily because they also feel that it has positive effects on the productivity.
Horst Freitag is Germany's consul general here in New York.
Now, we had a lot of reforms just recently regarding our working force, etc., fringe benefits, unemployment protection. Nobody, neither the legislative nor the unions, the employers, nobody touched the vacation.
We sat down with Freitag, Sabine Ullmann, the deputy consul from Switzerland, and Torben Getterman, Denmark's consul general. All three countries have had national vacation laws on the books for decades.
5 weeks, I think, in Denmark, right?
Correct.
And
mandatory.
Mandatory.
Yes.
And this, we're talking about everybody from factory worker to high-priced lawyer.
Yes. And it's mandatory.
Denmark's unemployment rate, by the way, is 3 points lower than ours at the moment. And as for vacation policy in Switzerland,
I think the first paid vacation came in 1937, and it was in the watchmaker industry, to give people possibility not to be overexhausted, not overworked, and to give the opportunity of feeling more relaxed and more comfortable.
Wait a minute, you're not worried when you take your vacation that the guy at the next desk is going to get ahead of you while you're gone?
That's the point of it. If I'd be worried about that, you probably wouldn't take the vacation. But that's why it is legally, it's illegal. It's in the law. It's in the book.
The U.S. economy, with weaker unions than Europe and less regulation, has higher growth rates and pays higher salaries. But European workers consistently rate themselves more satisfied with the balance in their lives.
I have a feeling if I were to run that idea by some members of the business community in the United States, they might say, you know what, that sounds like a European idea, the balance. You laugh.
Yeah, I mean, we think it's a good idea. It's a good foundation for creating a society where you have respect for, let's say, both family life and the working life.
Some food for thought to throw on the grill this Memorial Day weekend, when you might already be feeling like you won't get nearly enough time off this summer. The rest of the world has a very different recipe when it comes to vacation.
You can't always attach a price tag to something. There's some things in life that you can't pin down in dollars and cents.
The bottom line is, in Europe, people have smaller cars but much bigger vacations. And in the United States, we have bigger cars but much smaller vacations.
Happy Labor Day. In tribute to the tireless American workers whom this day honors, I hope you're working hard at doing nothing. And I don't mean that ironically. Taking a holiday makes us better at our jobs. It gives us a chance to unplug and reboot, and other technological metaphors that didn't exist when Labor Day was made a national holiday 120 years ago. However, the average American worker leaves 4 vacation days unused, according to Expedia. In the past year, collectively, Americans chose not to take more than 500 million available days off from work. Why aren't we pushing back from our desks? The most common reason given is to accumulate days for possible future trips. But there are less hopeful reasons too, like some workers say they can't afford a vacation. Others say work is their life. And some fear a boss's view of an employee who takes his or her full time off. Indeed, when asked about workers who use all their vacation days, 15% of managers describe them as less dedicated, 15% as less productive, and 10% as less likely to be promoted. If only your boss understood that you'd come back with a souvenir for her that says, "My employee went to the beach and all I got was this lousy t-shirt," plus renewed drive and refreshed company loyalty. It's time to rethink the American work ethic. According to the Center for Economic Policy Research, the U.S. is the only advanced economy that does not require employers to provide paid vacation time. Almost a quarter of Americans receive no paid holidays, and most of those folks are low-wage workers and small business employees. Everybody needs a break, especially the guy who fished your mother-in-law's watch out of your toilet and the lady who remembers to make your decaf chai with vanilla almond milk. To put it in perspective, workers in the European Union are legally guaranteed at least 20 paid vacation days per year. What about the industrious Japanese? They get at least 10 days. Before you dismiss vacations as something that will make Americans as soft as fine French cheese, consider this. If we used all our time off, our economy would benefit from more than $160 billion in sales and would support 1.2 million jobs. Let's not make the American work ethic FaceTime and overtime. It should be vision and innovation, and we need a bit of fresh air for that. Boldness is not bred in cubicles. Are we done? Okay, good, because I need a vacation.
This summer marks the 40th anniversary of the completion of Iceland's Route 1, better known as the Ring Road. The 828-mile loop encircles the entire country, meaning you could technically drive around Iceland in a day. And in the summer, you'd still have plenty of daylight left over. The sun doesn't set until close to midnight, and this is about as dark as Iceland gets. But you'd really need a week to take it all in. The Ring Road is one of the most scenic drives in the world. Just off the highway, there are roaring waterfalls, mossy lava fields, sunny seaside cliffs, eerie glacial lagoons, bubbling, steaming earth. Iceland feels like another planet. In the 1960s, Apollo astronauts trained 4 lunar missions on Iceland's rocky landscape. The country has since become a favorite of sci-fi and fantasy filmmakers.
That drone is out there somewhere.
The recent Oblivion and Prometheus were shot in Iceland. And the country is featured prominently in Game of Thrones.
Oh, it seems you owe me a debt.
Give it back! The Ring Road, just a little stretch of 2-lane blacktop, connects most of Iceland's major attractions and towns. Like, you know what? I'm not even going to try and say them. Trust me, it is worth seeing them. You might just have the views to yourself. Iceland only has a little over 300,000 people, and over 60% live in the greater Reykjavik area. So once you get out of the capital, the only traffic jam you're likely to encounter is some serious sheep gridlock. Driving the ring counterclockwise, I lost track of time altogether. Every side road begged to be explored. There were waterfalls to walk behind, icebergs to dodge, hidden hot springs to uncover. For the past 10 days, I've just been driving around in a circle. And in Iceland, that's the point.
Adrian Charlie loves to travel.
So I've been to Kenya. I've also been to Morocco and camped out in the desert. I've been to Cuba, the United Arab Emirates, Madagascar. I can't believe I forgot that.
Are you sure your full name isn't Adrian Rand McNally? And for her 50th birthday, she was pulling out all the stops.
So I had planned first-class tickets to Paris. I was going to stay at one of the hotels along the Champs-Élysées.
Then COVID happened. But where there's a will and Wi-Fi, there's a way.
And up in the distance on your right, we get our first glimpse of the Eiffel Tower.
The Oculus entered my life.
She's talking about this, a virtual reality headset. Via virtual reality, VR for short, Adrian has spent the past year globe-trotting, Global pandemic be damned.
This is one of the spaces that I absolutely want to visit. It is the Chateau de Monte Cristo.
And she's not alone. While the headset makers don't release sales figures, some Facebook VR groups report that their membership has tripled in the last year. There are an exploding number of apps and experiences to choose from.
I'm going under.
Immersive is how this technology is often described, and I can attest.
Oh, is that a giant seal?
As I went kayaking in Antarctica, courtesy of a National Geographic app.
Wow.
We have a number of experiences that we've put together. One of them is our Okavango experience.
Whitney Johnson is Vice President of Visuals and Immersive Experiences for National Geographic.
We stopped to have lunch at an elephant crossing, not knowing that the migration was about to arrive.
For Nat Geo, authenticity is key, as experienced in this trip through the African Delta.
I'm not too inclined to want to come face to face with a wild animal in Africa, but through this experience you can do that.
As you can see, we're in New York.
Now, if you really want to get into VR, you can try this.
We've got a bar set up here so people can grab a drink. There's a hot tub over there people can hang out in.
Jeremy Nickel believes very much in the connective power of VR. I met up with him, sort of, on this Brooklyn rooftop. Kind of.
For the price of a couple $100, you can get yourself some goggles, get in here, build worlds, start creating events, and start making VR something you want it to be.
If you haven't figured it out, we're meeting in VR as avatars. I'm the one wearing the cap.
You can bring people together from around the world to have a social, COVID-safe experience here in VR.
In reality, Jeremy's in Boulder, Colorado. I'm in Manhattan. But here we are having an experience together and not on Zoom.
This does, in fact, feel more personal, more intimate than a Zoom session. Yeah, I just wish you had actual arms connecting your hands to the rest of your body.
But I hear you. We'll get there.
Nickel, a Unitarian Universalist minister, has studied Buddhism in India and built this virtual reality temple in the Himalayas for his congregation to meditate. I probably should have visited here first to center myself.
Boy.
As impressive as VR technology is, I found myself feeling a little seasick the first couple of times I tried it. And here's another caveat.
I know so many friends who are buying VR headsets for their kids. And it's not technically a kid device at all.
Scott Stein is editor-at-large at CNET. Why isn't it?
I think it's not quite entirely clear what the optical and even, psychological effects probably of using this stuff could be. I don't let my kids use it very much at all.
But for big kids like Adrian Charlie, it's a virtual wonderland. As soon as you log off from here, you're going to be in Tanzania or in Uruguay.
Exactly. I haven't had my immersive trip for the day.
You don't need a passport.
No passport required.
Some people come back from their summer vacation with lots of pictures, adventures, and ideas they've picked up along the way about how they're going to change their lives. That was not my vacation. I spent my vacation out of town at a friendly and familiar place, filling the days with simple pleasures like doing laundry on a breezy day and hanging clothes out to dry in the sun on the line. When laundry isn't an obligation, it's not a chore. In fact, it can be very enjoyable for me. I also spent time reading a big book on a porch swing. It was even satisfying cleaning up after dinner, which my husband cooked. I went to bed real early, looking forward to making coffee and poached eggs in the morning. My only vacation regret, the time I spent on my smartphone. And that's how I spent my summer vacation.